How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. Hope everyone is having a lovely day. So we are a day removed from what was a shocking yet not so shocking loss to the New England Patriots. Bengals dropped this one 16-10. Lots expected the Patriots not to be the best team in the world this season. Lots expected the Bengals to be one of the best teams in the world this season. So a shocker nonetheless. Obviously, Bengals historically start the season slow. Thought, hey, maybe this is the year they get over the hump, but didn't happen. Yeah, couple concerns here. Obviously, Joe Burrow. I mean, there no mistake about it. He replayed that entire last drive in his head at the press conference. He knew exactly what went wrong. He mischased the first one, messed up the throw off the Moss. The third one, he again just he didn't see what he wanted to see, and then they had a punt. But you have to wonder with Joe Burrow's health and his concern and his I don't want to question that man's confidence ever going into the games, because it just felt like he was rushing passes, getting rid of the ball a little bit quicker than normal. We've seen him flexing that wrist and on the sideline a couple different times, which makes you wonder: is he still worried about the wrist? Is he still feeling some discomfort there where naturally he wants to get rid of that football quicker because that pocket collapses and he hits that wrist one time? He's worried about messing that thing up and he doesn't want to take any hits. You can understand that. And he ain't played since week 10 of last season. He's got to work some rust off. No question about it. More importantly, we was diving into, because Joe Burrow's going to figure it out. There's no question about that. Joe Burrow's going to have this team vying for a playoff spot, vying for a Super Bowl if they make the playoffs, if he is healthy and if he is on his football team. He will figure it out. The bigger questions here, when you kind of look back and dive into things in this football game, looking at some snap counts. Considering the Bengals put up 10 points, lots of the question here. We've seen Chase Brown nearly get doubled on the field by Zach Moss as far as snap count's concerned. Zach Moss, which, by the way, love Zach Moss. He's out there more because he's a better pass blocker. He's more of the full package right now compared to Chase Brown. Completely understand it. But Chase Brown is your speedster. He's your guy that flies across the field, and you want him in open space as much as possible. Chase Brown, you can even throw Jermaine Burton in there if you want, but Chase Brown especially, he's kind of like your Xavier Worthy of the Chiefs, or your Tyreek Hill prior. I don't say that's good. Burton, that's a little crazy, but guys that are just known to be very, very fast, great in open space. And the Bengals didn't really design anything for him in open space, which is, again, a question mark. You wonder going into the season, were we going to see the Bengals try to be more creative, get the most out of some of their players? I think that's what you see with some of the great coaches do. Maybe that's what's really sticking out for me here. What you see out of the Belichicks or the Reeds is they have their specialty players. You design plays just for those players, and it doesn't have to be your Jamar Chase. It doesn't have to be your T. Higgins. It doesn't have to be your best player. It just has to be the player with a premier skill set and a premier ability in a certain area of the game, whether that be in a slot, whether that be in open space, whether that be in 50-50 balls. You see these great coaches, and that's why we brought up the Worthy comparison. Worthy didn't really do nothing for Kansas City. Rookie player, we knew he was good for his speed. They gave him an end around, and they gave him a go route, and he just happened to beat the team because that's stuff that he can specialize in as a rookie. And you think the same with Jermaine Burton. We know that this guy specializes in the go routes, can beat teams deep. You add that dynamic, and they're already worried about Jamar Chase, and Jermaine's really got a favorable matchup. He just got to beat anybody on the inside. I know they're worried about the playbook, they're worried about the attitude and all this stuff, but you just got to run a go round. They're asking him to do one or two things to make defenses respect what he can do best on the field, and when they have to respect that, especially if you go into Kansas City and say, oh, okay, I can see wanting to hide the weapons from Kansas City, but you bring this guy in the cage against Kansas City, all of a sudden you see Burton zinging down the middle, down the slot, down the sideline, and now you can't say, okay, let's, bracket coverage Chase, let's bracket cover Higgins, because once you do that, you got a heck of a favorable matchup, because this man's going up against a linebacker, he's going up against a 3CB, something. And, you got to take full advantage of that, I think, if you're the Bengals. Yeah, maybe you don't want to rush a guy, I get that, but I think you have to play the personnel game. You have to look at the matchups and say, hey, there's guys that specialize in certain areas. Burton specializes in being a deep threat. And right now, there's no better time to use a deep threat than when you have two very respected receivers out wide that all the attention is on, as far as defenses are concerned. Of course, T. Higgins has got to be healthy. We got to be ready to play and stuff. We know, the hamstring injury has got him sidelined right now. But it's just things to keep in mind. Because the more weapons, the more things you have to distract an opposing team's defensive coordinator, the easier it is going to make for Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Dan Pitcher, whatever, this offense to click. Just like Chase Brown. It's like, okay, well, what happens if... Imagine a personnel, you get Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Jermaine Burton. You're going to double Jamar. And now you have to say, what are we going to do with Burton and Higgins? Are we going to put somebody over the top to, just in case for Burton? If we do that, we're going to give, T. Higgins a one-on-one with our number 2 CB. He's just going to win his matchup. Burrow beats him. Or if, you somehow manage to worry about these guys over the top, you play a little conservative. Now all of a sudden, hey, what if we slip screen, we fade Chase Brown in the backfield when these guys are all the main focus? Now Chase Brown's got a favorable matchup. He's just going to create some open space. You got to utilize your players properly, specifically the young guys, the ones that aren't getting paid a lot, the ones that you can keep on this football team for 2 to 3 years. And I think that's my biggest concern, is where it really feels like, and this just isn't an offensive problem. Joseph Ossai, 12 snaps last game. Jordan, this is the shock. This is the one that raised the eyebrows. Jordan Battle virtually didn't play. I've seen people say he had 1 snap. We got places saying he had 0 snaps out there on the field. We do know Von Bell and Geno Stone played every snap. Your 2 starting safeties, and this is coming off a season where Jordan Battle was the highest graded rookie against the run. Graded really well across the board against the run, and you knew the New England Patriots were going to run, and run more run. They didn't have any receivers. Having receivers, their offensive line was struggling. They wanted to run that football as much as they could. And for Jordan Battle, your young player that looked like he was going to be your rising star, to be buried. I love Von Bell. I wanted to be here, sure. I thought, Von Bell was going to maybe 50-50 split, maybe just be that veteran that plays 15, 20 snaps a game, mentors these guys. But Jordan Battle's your future, and you benched him. Geno Stone ain't the future. He's here for a very limited time. Maybe they extend him. Von Bell's old. And you have to be worried about that, just like Sam Hubbard. Sam Hubbard's not, he's not your future. He's on the other side of his prime, in my opinion. And you got guys like Ossai, and I know you guys get guys like Murphy and stuff hurt, but guys like Ossai, where it's like, maybe he isn't anything. He doesn't turn out to be anything. But we do know in what we've seen in his preseason, in his plays, in his playing time, where he's been more of a pass rusher. And we know Hubbard isn't a pass rusher. He's a run specialist. So what I question is, why are the Bengals not at the very least taking these young, talented players and putting them in a position where they thrive? Because besides Hendrickson, it's pretty clear ain't nobody getting a pass rush on that quarterback. Not on the edge. You might as well put somebody in and give them the opportunities on those third down, those passing downs, and see what can happen. Maybe even on some running downs when you're not stopping the run, right? But nonetheless, Lou Anarumo is the last guy I want to question about things. He's got all the respect in the world for me. Of all the Bengals coaches, no question about it, he's top tier to me. Even last season, you don't, the Bengals, Joe Burrow, he beats Mahomes. No, Lou Anarumo beats Mahomes. Joe Burrow just wins the football game, finds a way to put points on the board to outscore the team. But Lou Anarumo's got a game plan to stop that, and he's done that time in, time again. And even today, 16 points against a Patriots team where it was completely unpredictable. You didn't know what the Patriots are going to do. Completely new scheme, game plan, coaching staff, everything. It was a rough scratch. And you knew the Bengals had a hard time stopping the run. They just didn't have the personnel to do it. But we've seen him scheme up some run blitzes, some different things to try to stop the run. Ultimately, he got the stop, gave the football back, put it in Joe Burrow's hand, said, you win this football game. Bengals went 3-0. Lou did what he had to do to keep his team in the football game. So I respect that. But I do worry about the future of this team, because you don't want to have all veterans. You don't have to have all free agent signings. You got to have guys develop from within. But how can you develop them from within if they do not play? And that's where, do you really think that a guy like Trenton Irwin or Charlie Jones should be above Jermaine Burton? Character issues or not. You got to take that chance. Because what's he going to do? Is he going to go off? He's going to go crazy? He's going to have a breakdown? If he does, you bench him and you don't play him. That's pretty simple. What happens if you don't give him the opportunity? You don't know what he's capable of. The Jordan Battle thing was what really surprised me, seeing, hey, why is... I thought this was our future cornerstone. If you look back and say we let Jesse Bates go, let Von Bell go the first time because you spent 2 high draft picks on Dax Hill and Jordan Battle. And neither one of them playing safety now. That feels like the recipe for disaster, because you gotta develop from within. To build a Super Bowl contender, you have to have your young guys, your drafted players, and you have to have them play as much as possible. Look at the Chiefs. The rookie tackles, the rookie guards, the rookie secondary, all those guys that were rookies they brought in. Now they're studs on defense, but they had a chance to, learn and improve on the field, which has to happen, because if you wait until year 3, you wait until year 4, say, okay, now we're going to give you more snaps, more opportunity. It's like, well, year 3 might be your progression one, year 4 is your breakout, and all of a sudden dude's due a contract. Maybe big money if he's good compared to, year one, ease him in, year two, play him a lot, year three, year four. Then you got guy at a premier player on a cheap contract. That's how you build from within and build this continuity of a defense in general, but compared to saying, hey, we're going to sign these vets who we're going to get for 3 years and they're going to have to go because they're going to be too old. That's my concern. It's the snap counts. If I look what Dan Pitcher and company did in this game, I say there's a lot of dump offs. I don't know how much of it was Pitcher, how much it was Joe Burrow. Burrow, again, kind of flustered in the pocket, had a hard time, getting protection, and he was worried about the wrist. It just felt like I would have liked to see game planning around understanding that, saying, hey, again, you can still take the deep chance, create some space, or you can still open up the playbook in the way of trying to get Chase Brown in open space. And it just didn't feel like they was trying to do that. So you're still getting a C from me. You're still getting a C from me, Dan. I think this guy can get better. I mean, he proved last season with Jake Browning and company that he can really find a way to move the football down the field. We'll see if he just, works, studies, grows, improves, tweaks the game plan. Again, we don't know what the full extent of Joe Burrow's health and concern was this game, how conservative they was being there. It just, when you lose a game scoring 10 points, you obviously feel like, hey, can we open things up, try different things? But again, you got to be mindful. I mean, they would have not fumbled at the goal line, dropped some passes. Maybe things would have been different. The 3 and out at the end sticks out. Again, proper play call on first down. Chase was open. They dropped the pass in second down, third down. I like the third down play. I did like that check down. A lot of people are saying, it looked like Chase beat his man, throw it deep. Because, hey, you dump it off, get 5 to 6 yards. You think, go for it on fourth down. Keep moving the football. I feel like that might have been what was Joe's head. That was in my head. Hey, make it fourth and manageable so you don't have to punt. It's easier to pick up 5 than 10. Take the conservative route, go for it. They didn't do it. Nonetheless, love y'all's thoughts. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.